Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today, Magic Finder number 5 of this. Yeah, let's call it series. And I wasn't too sure. I mean, the first kind of Magic Finders, I know I want to do a Wind Ripper, I want to do Val Blight, the Auto Bomber, and so on. I wasn't really too sure what should I take as my 5th Magic Finder. I was thinking about Val Spark, Val Stormcall, for example. There is just so many fancy, fast builds that you can play, but I decided to pull off a character that is not that popular anymore, and this is a Kinetic Blast Magic Finder. So, Kinetic Blast is basically a physical attack, and with the right MTX, which is the Celestial MTX, this thing looks amazing and beautiful. So, for the quick map showcase, we're gonna run 2 maps again. Just I want to show you the, yeah, let's call it the budget version, because hands down, there's not even a chaos for this weapon here. If we check this one here, yeah, 1 alchemy. If you start with the Ash Mirror, they are kind of got a little bit price increase because of the Auto Bomber, and I'm definitely sorry for that. But the rest is just typical Magic Finder stuff. A Queen, a Devotos, like nothing too fancy over here. So I would say 2 maps, one with, one without Headhunter, so you see the difference, or at least like what you can achieve basically. Depending on your budget. So basically it works like the Tornado Shot, right? We have our Kinetic Blast instead of the Tornado Shot, and this is what you do. You're gonna pop your flasks and you're gonna just demolish this map. I personally think this is actually a little bit faster than the Tornado Shot, but I think it depends on currency. Like, if you have the Tornado Shot with the Helm Enchant and so on, I think you probably have the same or better clear. But on the other hand, this one looks amazing. It's very, very strong. A lot of damage coming from the Ash Mirror here. And yeah, what you do, run around and just press your Kinetic Blast. You have like almost a full screen clear here, especially here on these Legion dudes. If you're gonna check this one out, our projectiles pierce, they just gonna do a hilarious amount of damage. As you see, kill counter is going 500, 600, 700, like, it's super easy to cleave the whole screen. It takes less than 10 seconds to clear off all legions, so let's wait until the timer runs out. And just kill the rest of the monsters. Boss showcase I can do, because there is a little fancy trick in here, but usually, as you know me, I don't care about boss killing, especially with this build. It doesn't really offer a lot of single target. I will still try to kill the boss without dying. We're gonna see how that works, because we have a little bit of a single target mechanic built into this character, which is a totem that shoots a barrage, right? Or barrage, or whatever is the right pronunciation of that. So I would say this map is actually pretty clear. 2 stack decks. Let's see what's in here. Nothing. Great. So, how this works, like, I have a totem here with Barrage, right? This totem is with knockback. So what I'm trying to do is knock back the boss to the wall. So we're gonna get this one here. You see the boss is getting knocked back to the wall. And what happens is my Barrage gets to the wall and explodes there. So once my totem basically pushes the boss next to the wall, I can just super insanely cleave it down with Barrage, with the Kinetic Blast. Okay, this was the showcase as a normal Magic Finder on a budget. Here, the one with the Headhunter, to see how fancy this one gets. And with this one, I'm not gonna kill the boss, because, yeah, if I can do it without Headhunter, I can do it obviously with Headhunter the same way and style. So basically the same kind of playstyle, just pop your flasks and just cleave everything down what's just next to you. And yeah, get a lot of buffs and make it just ridiculously fast and yeah, fancy and whatever. Just hope that I don't get disconnected. But for the clear, pretty good clear, as I said, as you see as well. So let's see if we're gonna get something fancy over here. It's always so nasty to wait until the time runs out. Oh god, the lag. Hello, sir? I have lag. GGG, I want to report the problem with your servers. This is unfarmable. This is unplayable. So, yeah. Let's just pick up the kind of stuff here. Actually, we could actually skip it, but yeah. I'm still a Magic Finder. I still want to make my profit, so why not just spend this couple more seconds to pick up loot. Obviously, with a Headhunter, you don't really want to do that just because... oh, boss. Picking up stuff takes half of the time that you need to complete a map, right? So I would probably need a minute for the map, but actually picking up stuff that is actually useful or what you can trade for currency takes up the majority of the map here. Let's skip the Abyss to make it a little bit faster. And yeah, you just run around and just slam everything with this beautiful mbX Kinetic Blast. And yeah, I know it has been nerfed several times already, and since then nobody wanted to play the build anymore, or only a few. But I still think it's super fun to play. It's probably on my... I actually want to make a tier list, right, for the 5 Magic Finder that I played. I want to show you guys what I enjoyed the most, what I think was super fun to play. But this only counts for my personal preference, right? But I still want to do it. So this is the loot from today. I mean, it sounds a little bit weird because today, if we're going to check this one, wait a second, where is my layout? No, not Uber Elder, Headhunter quest. I got 2 Doctor cards today, 1 Exalt, 1 Orb of Annulment, and 3 Divine Orbs in the matter of, I think, like 4 hours or so, and like 100 maps. So you can say I almost killed about, or at least ran about 1,000 maps, Buried Chambers, with 5 different characters, and I got a total of 4 Doctors, which is extremely lucky these days, right? But if you're just gonna say Exalt, we have here 10 Exalt, 10 Exalt, 10 Exalt, 4 Exalt. This is just like Doctors and stuff, right? Then if we say Chaos Orbs, a couple hundred, then map. I'm gonna say this is not only about the drops that I had today, because sometimes I'm trading something, you know, I'm having gems for sale from the last couple of builds, so I usually just throw everything into the loots tab. And once I just finished my maps here, then I just, yeah, clean this one up and keep on going again. Okay, let's talk about the build. This build is not so fancy in the build up as you might think. Might think. Oh god, my English. So, what do we have? There is actually nothing really special over here. There is nothing like the Val Blight where you say like, yeah, you need this flask and that to combine that. No, it's actually a pretty normal attack based build. We use a Queen of the Forest to have more movement speed, as on the previous videos, what you might be familiar with. Let's get the Headhunter out of the way, that will confuse people. And the rest is just res cap here on Ventors. But still, let's talk about top to bot, I would say. So we're gonna start at the helm, and then we're gonna move down to the belt. So we have here a Devoto's Devotion for movement speed, obviously, if you can, which brings a lot of clear speed. Is the Kinetic Blast has 75% chance for an additional explosion. So this will actually give us way more explosion that we need or can handle, or the mobs can handle. Let's say it like that, because this will actually make your clear speed even faster, right? I bought mine for 3 Exalts. If we're gonna check the market right now, they are currently 5 Exalts, 5 Exalts, 10 Exalts. Yeah, the thing is, this is like the Uberlap enchant, right? So you can still go with one below with a 50%, I think it is, or something. Or if it's actually possible to get a Merciless Lap enchant. But this will help your clear speed. We have here Grace, Herald of Ice, Onslaught Support, and Enlighten. The Enlighten is not needed, so if I unequip the Enlighten, we still have all reserved, even with the Clarity that I sometimes forget about. Why didn't I add that one in? But this is the Clarity, doesn't really matter. I will show you, it's just because of my Watcher's Eye that you not really need. But as you see, the problem is, Kinetic Blast has 87 mana cost, so I can use this thing 2 times until I get out of mana. I have some Mana Leech, and this single point here in Mana Leech is enough to sustain the mana once you hit something. If you shoot your Kinetic Blast twice without hitting something, you gotta wait. And this is a little bit of a problem, I would say, because, yeah, it has insane amounts of mana cost. This was my decision to put an Enlighten in here to, yeah, I think, like, activate it 3 times now. Like, almost 3 times. So you see, the mana cost is ridiculous, but you don't need the Enlighten for it. I just want to give you an example, why do I have it, and why you don't need it if you don't have the currency, okay? It's just to have more mana open for Kinetic Blasts. Okay, let's talk about the weapon. It's a Piscator's Vigil, which is a super cheap weapon. It's hands down a very strong weapon for what it costs. as you see here, like an alchemy or something. I mean, mine was a little bit more expensive because I have pretty good rolls, max attack speed, max crit chance. So yeah, that's a little bit more expensive, but the first Piscators that you get is totally fine. I think a multi-modded wand with alley penetration and I don't know what else might be better, but I can decide, hey, I'm farming tier 5 Boreals. Do I need the damage? No. So why should I invest more than 10 exalts in a weapon that potentially is better, or I'm just going to use this one and pay a chaos and profit, right? So I have here Flame Dash with faster casting. This is something just for Boreal Jammers if the monolith is, for example, on the hill, so you're just gonna flame dash on top of that, click it, go back, and then just keep farming, you know? This is just like to cross obstacles. Then I have a clarity in here. This is only, and I mean it like I say, this is only because I have a Watcher's Eye that is totally unnecessary. It's just movement speed while Grace. We have Grace activated to buff our queens, right? And the second stat that is on there, this was just on top of that. I was just looking for Grace movement speed, and I searched for the max roll because I don't want to divine it, because I'm super unlucky with divines. And the best one, cheapest one with 15% had this clarity mod on it, which has 15 chance to recover 10% maximum mana if you use a skill while affected by clarity, okay? This is the only reason, this clarity is the only reason, or at least this Watcher's Eye is the reason why I have the clarity, right? I don't even think it's necessary to run this Watcher's Eye at all, because it gives you movement speed, 15%. If you're gonna check here, I'm having a total of 162% movement speed, just like that, you know? So this one adds 15 on top of that, so not really necessary at all. If you want to have it, I just thought like, hey, movement speed is great, so let's take more movement speed, right? This just the explanation why I use clarity here, not needed. Then, Queen of the Forest, pretty general thing. I decided to buy a 6 white socket one because I'm switching builds way too often and I don't want to recolor my queens all the time. The best thing to get this one is just by using the 3 chromatics here, like the if you buy the 6-linked one, you can just buy the cheapest 6-link one and just go 3 blue sockets over here, right? It's 120 chromatics, that's not too expensive. You're just gonna spam it 2 or 3 times until you hit 1 additional red socket, right? If you don't wanna do this, you can also buy a 6 white, and this is just my opinion, right? Because I'm playing way too many builds, and I don't want to recolor every time. Here I need 2 blue, here I need 3 red, blah, blah, blah. Next time I can just play Cyclone with 5 red gems. I don't care because I have 6 white sockets, right? This is just not necessary, but if you want to save some currency, if you're switching builds as often as I do, then this is definitely a cool way to do it. Here we have Kinetic Blast, added Lightning, Lightning Penetration, greater multiple projectiles, Ice Bite support, and the alley damage with attacks. So, why Ice Bite? Basically, Frenzy Charge generation. We have a reworked Wander notes on the top here. This is a little bit different. It used to be physical wand damage over here, which you cannot use because you have your Piscators deal no physical damage. But they changed it now from the physical to an Elder Power, which means damage per power charge and power charge generation, right? So here I get power charges, here I get Frenzy Charges. So what you can do is get your Herald of Ice as a solo 4-link with a curse on hit, like Herald of Ice, Onslaught, curse on hit, and then Warlord's Mark, or like I use Elemental Weakness, for example. Since we're doing elemental damage, now all my Kinetic Blasts will curse the enemies with Elemental Weakness. They get more damage. Like, you can like really choose from. Because usually you can use Assassin's Mark for power charge generation. I don't need that. I have this note here. You can use Poacher's Mark for frenzy charge generation if you don't want to use Blood Rage, like I don't like it. Then you can just get in an Ice Bite, right? And that's why I check like, okay, power charge, frenzy charge, here alley weakness, really nice damage. Okay, let's move to the next one. The Ash Mirror. Thing is, I actually, you know that I like to go a lot of quantity, and on this one it's probably a little bit low. We have like 63% quantity. That's not a lot, but I usually wanted to play with my shield, if I can find it. Yeah, I don't know where the shield is. You know, the Centauri's answer, or Centauri something. The shield that gives you quantity that I used on the Auto Bomber, I think. I was playing with that, but the damage feels not great. It definitely feels not great. And with the Ash Mirror, I get 1 to 10 lightning damage for each shocked enemy you've killed recently. And since we have a lot of lightning damage, so we focus on lightning damage with added lightning damage, lightning penetration. As you see here, the majority of my Kinetic Blast is doing lightning damage. I have a lot of shock chance, and I'm just going to proc this Ash Mirror, and I'm going to get a lot of damage. And this will essentially help me to clear the map. So I'd rather take this one to clear faster than 8 quantity, and that's how it is. So for the amulet, this is a chaos spammed one. It is pretty nice with multiplier, energy shield. Although I'm a life build, I don't need the energy shield mods. But this was just one of the outcomes. I had a lot of these 86 shaped amulets. I was just chaos spamming them. I made some very lucky ones, like this one over here with the ally damage, like tier 1, triple tier 1 actually. That's a very nice base to multi-mod. But on this one I don't have quantity, that's why I wouldn't use it. It would actually be super nice for this build, but I just spammed this one. I had this on my stash quantity, and it has increased increased damage per 15 intelligence, which helps me, right? Usually, as you know from my previous builds, I just use a multi-modded quant amulet. If you don't have the currency for that, use a Biscos, right? I know I always say it, quant amulets are better than Biscos, but if you don't have currency, Biscos is definitely better than running nothing, right? So, double Vantors, look for increased quantity and resistance, because these two rings are the key of getting all resistance done. I'm actually super overcapped, but yeah, better be overcapped than undercapped, I would say. You could run it with a Wise Oak Flask, for example, that gives you resistance, and use a double Pariah ring, which gives you 30% quantity instead of 18 what I have here. But here I can just like swap in and out my Headhunter for whatever reason if I want to play with it. Like obviously I'm playing with it, like it makes me like Super Saiyajin 4 or something, right? So I don't need to worry about my resistance. Then on the gloves, Sedima's Touch, Sedima's Touch, pretty usual quantity. Gloves, just check for the quantity. Here I have Cast on Death with Portal, pretty obvious reason for me. Although, hey, I leveled up 1 level today and I'm almost level 93 on this one, right? So I don't really die, but hey, I have so many gem slots open, why not just use it? And here faster casting with Portal, so I don't have to manually spam my Portal scrolls. Check. So, oh wait a second, I forgot the boots, the shield. We have cast 1 damage taken, steel skin, and increased duration. If you ask me what is better, steel skin or immortal call, I have absolutely no idea. I'm used to use immortal call just because this is the old-fashioned way. But I think this damage shield would probably be better on low-tier maps and immortal call for high-tier maps. Probably. I'm still not sure. Then we have the Biscos Leash, which is just a typical quantity, cold resistance, and rampage generator, which is pretty nice. Then Goldworm Boots, just for the quantity, right? We have here Barrage, greater multiple projectiles. Then we have knockback support and ranged attack totem. As I said before, if this is the boss, you're just gonna place the totem in front of that. That will push the boss into the wall, and we can just use my Barrage, and the explosion will just, yeah, like almost like not insta-kill. The damage is too low for that, but pretty satisfyingly kill the boss. So I think that's about the gear, pretty easy. Then we have a Stibnite Flask and a Jade Flask, those two for capping, or at least like trying to cap my evasion, because I'm currently having... Where's my evasion here? Offense? Defense? Hello? Is something wrong here? 1, 3? Heh. Oh yeah, scroll up maybe. Oh god, I'm such a noob. I'm like scrolling down, and where's my evasion? I don't have evasion anymore, no. Okay, here we are. Scroll up. Oh god, recording a video, be right back. D&D, sorry. I always forget this. So, anyway, so I have 15,000 with the Stibnite Flask, which gives me 100% increased evasion rating, and the Jade Flask, which gives me 3,000 flat plus 100% increased during effect. I'm getting to 40,000, so... almost 41,000, so I'm still a little bit undercapped on the Queen, but hey, I think that's totally fine. Then I have Bleed Immunity Diamond Flask, since we're a crit build, and a Dying Sun, because additional projectiles and area of effect, I think that's, yeah, that's what we want, right? Area of effect and additional projectiles. So with the Flask up, I'm actually having 8 projectiles, and with the Helm enchant, I'm getting like, yeah, probably 12, 14, 15 explosions, so that's why it clears so insanely good. And a Quicksilver Flask for movement speed. Check. Let's refill those. Let's take a look at the skill tree. We are Deadeye, don't get frustrated because I say here Raider. No. The thing is, I have a level 100 Deadeye in standard. I didn't want to delete it, that's why I'm picking that name mbX Raider, although it's a Deadeye. Maybe it's going to be a Raider in the future. You have Tailwind, or at least Gathering Wings for Tailwind, which gives us a lot of action speed. Then Far Shot, which is the opposite of the Point Blank, so we do a lot of damage, close combat and range, yeah. Then Endless Munitions, additional projectile, area of effect, 200 accuracy, and powerful precision. So my projectiles pierce and has more crit strike chance against targets they pierce. So that's a really big damage buff, I would say. In terms of skill tree, life, this one is just the last point that I got on the level up because I don't really need more levels here. Then we go down here, some more life, Point Blank for close combat. Then we have Frenzy Charges, Golem's Blood. The Watcher's Eye that I said is not mandatory, so I don't really want to talk about this one anymore. Then Projectile Gems, stats, skill points, Bravery. Then we go here with the Primeval Force for more ally damage. That one single Mana Leech node that makes it possible to sustain it. Then Life, Frenzy Charge, Multiplier, Jewel Slot, Face Acrobatics, Life Frenzy. Pretty generic Shadow Starter with all the crit multiplier nodes. Some more life, some lightning damage with attacks. Here all the wonder nodes that we got. These are such a nice cluster here. Here, now the power charge multiplier, pretty generic here. Path of Building link is in the description below as always. But let's take a look at the other jewels that I have. And this is basically the same thing as on the Tornado Shot. If you're lacking damage, you're gonna grab yourself jewels. And these have multi and lightning damage. That's what I searched for. Global multiplier, lightning damage to attacks, lightning damage to wand attacks. One of those was 8 Chaos, the other one, I think the maimed one was 1 Exalt. Problem was, all the other ones had like super low rolls and lightning damage, so I was like, yeah, whatever. But the price varies pretty hard, so yeah, double damage, multiplier if you can get it live, or just one-time life multiplier and simply wand attack would do just fine. Okay, so that's about the skill tree. As I said, Path of Building link in the description below. There is actually nothing fancy on this build, right? So as you see, just a typical attack build, same style as the Tornado Shot, just I think better clear. But as I said, doesn't like potentially because the other one didn't have the Tornado Shot enchant. In terms of the MTX, we have the Monolith Crown, Elder Body Armor, Gloves, and Boots. We have Celestial Character Effect, Footprints, Celestial Weapon Effect. I didn't choose for a weapon because this is the only dagger it has, and I don't like this orange style weapon in my pure dark purple whatever build, so I'm just gonna pick this one up. So it's the Piscator's is just black, so it fits my style more. Then we have, yeah, Demon King Portal Effect. Then we have the Celestial Kinetic Blast, then Wasteland Flame Dash, Celestial Aura Effect, Monolith Aura Effect. Then we have the Celestial Herald Effect for the eyes. Barrage doesn't really have one, I think, or I didn't buy one. No, it doesn't have one. And in the end, we have the Arcane Totem Skin. So, Bandits. It's a crit build, so guess what? It's going to be kill. Okay, again. It's a crit build, so it's going to be Help Alira, because multiplier and all resistance is always good. For Pantheons, as always, I'm too lazy to update Garokan, otherwise it would be 6% movement speed, and Lunaris for movement speed the more enemies are nearby. I don't really think Pantheons are necessary at all, because, you know, quality of life, because I don't really think I ever proc my Lunaris, because I kill everything within one shot screen clear, so whatever I pick, I usually don't even get hit, so yeah, whatever, ever. So, is there anything else? Let me quickly go through. I know this is always a little bit weird when I say it like that, but I just don't want to forget something. We talked about the gear, the gems, the flasks, gear substitutions. Is that actually an English word? I have no idea. Like cheaper gear than I have here, or what you can get in advance. Then we talked about skill tree, jewels, ascendancy, as I said, a Deadeye. Then we talked about bandits, then the pantheons, the MTX that I used. We had map showcases. Yeah, if you have any more questions about this very, very beautiful build, then leave a comment in the description below. And yeah, leave a comment in the comment section below, because you guys cannot write in my description. Like, oh god, I'm such a freaking noob. But anyways, I hope you will have a lot of fun with this build. I personally enjoyed this way more than I expected. It's very, very beautiful, very, very fast, a lot of fun, and yeah, pretty decent build. So guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you on the next video.